9:30 and we have quorum, so we're going to rock and roll here. All right, so even though we've been back for nearly a month, it is our first College Senate meeting of the spring 2024 semester. So I want to just take a second to welcome everybody back, and I hope everyone's having a good semester. We got through the initial open reg, drop ad, NAs, and now we're quickly approaching our first bit of a break with the February break coming next week. So that's nice, and then it's going to be midterms, and then before we know it, the semester is going to be over. So one of the things that I had noticed, because the last time we met, obviously, was in December. So, of course, it doesn't look like this today, but today the sun is setting at 5:43 p.m. And we have now gotten through the 16 darkest weeks of the calendar year. I read something about that online, and it just kind of was like, oh, thank God, because I love sunshine. And if it's sunny out, I need to be outside in it just to make myself feel better about the world. So congratulations, we've made it through the darkest time of the calendar year. And at our next College Senate meeting in March, on the 12th, the sun is going to set at 7:18 p.m. So like a whole hour and a half later than today, which is fantastic. And then on our April 9th meeting, it's going to be 7:51. And then at our last College Senate meeting for the semester, it's going to be 8:31 p.m. So we are on an upswing with sunshine and light and things growing in the spring. So, and I think that groundhog might have said that spring is going to come early, but we'll see, we'll see. So with that, I just want to welcome you to the Spring 24 College Senate semester. And Dr. Sagai could not be here today, so giving her president's report is going to be AVP Adrian Rannick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to first of all say a warm ECC welcome to our new Director of Talent Management and Employee Engagement, Christopher Sanchez. So let's all clap and point and embarrass him. So, as you know, we have our commencement coming up in May, later this semester, so please, of course, encourage your students who are close to graduating to go ahead and apply for graduation. So we want to finish strong for those students who are getting close to graduation. We have the President's Listening Sessions, which are coming up. We have one that was actually today at City Campus, and then marketing has been sending out notifications of the upcoming listening sessions. The question was brought up for those who are unable to attend the in-person session. Dr. Sagai said that she was going to be scheduling some online listening sessions later on, that will be forthcoming, in case anyone asks. We have the dedication of the City Campus Atrium to Joan Bozer on April 18th at our City Campus Atrium from 5:30 to 8:30. So for those of you who are unaware, Joan Bozer was a former legislator who was instrumental in saving the old post office building and repurposing it for our current City Campus. So we are naming it in her honor. Students will be participating with their academic fields and providing historical placards to be exhibited at the event. The entire college community is invited to this event, and any proceeds that are generated by the event are going to go to the Joan Bozer Scholarship, which was established by the foundation. That's the extent of the report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the report? Okay, moving on. See what I did with the agenda. All right, there it is. All right, so the minutes from the December meeting have been posted for well over a month. Does anybody have any comments or questions to the minutes from December? Any objections to the minutes from December? Okay, I'm going to accept them by consent. We're going to move into old business and governance committee, Michael Rio, with some election cycle updates.
So we have a document with a call for nominations. Anyone with a term that's expiring can self-nominate, or those positions will be open for nominations for representatives within that constituency group. We have some vacant seats, and we have some temporary appointments. So those are indicated in the document If you're serving a one-year temporary position, you need to self-nominate or be nominated in your constituency group, and then appointments will be made if there are any vacant seats after election cycle. Questions? We'll be sending out emails just to follow up. Thanks.
All right, and to clarify, Michael, anyone that is currently in the position, if they want to continue serving, they're going to need to self-nominate or have someone also nominate for continuation in positions?
Correct. And any nominations that you send to Senate Governance, please copy the person that you're nominating so that we can get their consent for that.
Right,
Thank
so
you.
no surprise nominations. Thank you. And that is senategovernance@ecc.edu. All right, Strategic Enrollment Management, Dr. Erickson Nealons.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome. I mean, it's not really the start of the spring semester, but as you said in the first public forum, welcome to the spring semester. So I do hope everything's going well and wish the best this semester here. I wanted to take an opportunity to give an update as it relates to the registration activity for the spring 2024 semester. Right now, we have some early indications, again, local, not vetted, early indications to suggest an increase in incoming students this spring compared to last spring, which is exciting, and I think speaks to, again, the relevancy and the interest in coming to SUNY Erie Community College. As I've said before in previous meetings and here again, seems to hold true, our current number of continuing students, though, does continue to decline, meaning that there are less of our current students that were here in the fall and previous semesters this spring than what there was in the previous spring semesters. Again, these are not vetted numbers. These are our local numbers here. That'll be then reported out when we go to our SUNY Cirrus report, which will come out in a few weeks. But I do think that there is a very strong opportunity as one college to look at how it is that we are helping our students to persist to completion for the degree. And then we are in the midst of our advanced studies registration. Please note with the snowstorm, I know that was a few weeks ago, that has affected some of our registration activity with the high school partners who are also off next week. So we may see a little bit of a delay in some of those. So if you are a lead teacher in there, stay tight, be patient with it, and I'll make sure that Cheryl and the advanced studies team are working with you actively throughout that process. But that is looking very promising, especially with a lot of the great work. If I can call out Dave Uzinski and others that have worked with Buffalo Public School, we are seeing a really strong emergence in the enhanced partnership with BPS. And so very excited for the leadership with Dr. Baudo, Stephanie Finn, Cheryl, and others here at the institution as well. If there's any questions about the enrollments, I'm happy to take those before going into the enrollments or initiatives at this time.
Does anyone have any questions? All right, you're good.
All right, excellent. So our spring open house is right around the corner here. So this was the previous flyer that we have. We have since updated it, so Colleen, I will send you the revised one. And I wanted to take the opportunity to explain why. We had received feedback that during the April 23rd, 24th, and 25th, that this was done during Passover. And so I really respected that there was an opportunity to hear that feedback from faculty and staff. So we have since changed the date on there and also all of our flyers accordingly. So that now is going to be on April 16th, 17th, and 18th. And so I'll send that then to everyone. The department chairs have been notified of that change. The times are still true, 4:30 to 6:30 that you see here. I do want to then plant a seed as a kind of hold the date. I am working with Adrian and the academic leadership about a new student registration day, as we did last semester in spring, not last semester, but last spring. For the first time, we're looking to see if holding that on May 1st at all three campuses. And so stay tuned for more details there. That'd be a great opportunity, just like we did last academic year, of being able to onboard our new students early before the semester ends.
Great, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Eric? Okay, thank you. All right, Academic Assessment Committee, Dr. Sabrina Kane.
So, let's see, we had a rather successful section that we ran at the opening day dealing with the new academic assessment procedure. And We tried to, we also made a recording of the session, so we were showing people where they can access their old documents, reassuring them that none of their old work in Nuventive is lost, it's there for them to access, and walking them through the new process of using a very simple form to submit their assessments for this year. And so if anybody has any questions about that, you can always contact either me or Christy Bigowette. We'd be happy to help you walk you through that. And the other thing is the committee has made steady progress on the new system. And so we now have the form for submitting things is all set and everybody can go ahead and use that. It can be found on the Academic Assessment Teams site. On the other hand, we've got the format we want for the AAC feedback. If you've ever worked with us before, worked with assessment before, you know that AAC has kind of a format where we send you feedback on the assessment to help you out with it. And we have a form for that, but we haven't really had a chance to test it yet, which brings me to my next point, which is in order to test it, we need to have assessments submitted to us. So we're looking for people to be submitting their assessments. We're hoping we're going to get a lot after College Day because we usually have an assessment portion where units can get together and work on their assessments. So I'm hoping that's going to be true again of this year. But the takeaway to all of your units is don't forget about your assessment work for your program competency assessments. Please be working on that this semester, and anyone who has any questions, you can feel free to contact me or you can contact IRAP.
Great. Does anyone have any assessment questions for Sabrina? All right, moving right along. 7.5-week courses, Dave Uzinski.
Thank you. So just some numbers updates. We're 32% ahead of where we were last year at this time for the 7.5-week courses. 12 of the 29 sections are already at capacity. I'm not sure if there's an appetite to add some more, so we'll have to discuss that if there's any chairs that think that adding more would be beneficial. I just wanted to think, like last year at this time, I believe, was when Phil Struble actually said, hey, a math course that we could offer would be MT 125. It's been a great success. It filled in the fall semester, and it's already full for the spring semester, and the success rates were really good. So feedback like that has been extremely helpful, and that was just a comment made at the Senate, because Phil had heard some students had wanted that course as a possible half-semester course. And I know Erickson has been working diligently, and the Dean of Students and registering students, so that has worked really well. Erickson, they still have until Friday to use financial aid. Financial aid lockup date is Friday? Or are we not sure?
Yeah, let me get some confirmation on that. I know that we always like to give a little bit of a window, so maybe not promise that at this point.
Has it expired yet?
Let me look into it. I'll
Okay.
talk,
You
yeah.
don't want to go on, okay. Sure, sorry, I put you on the spot there. It's usually week 5. Also, for the fall semester, you probably have submitted your schedules already, but it's still in the process of being looked over and approved. Consider adding some more courses. I know business added a bunch of courses for this spring semester, first half and second half, and they seem to have some healthy enrollments. So that's awesome. So maybe that can continue in the fall semester. It does seem like the courses are filling sooner as we've been able to capture students who, I would say, like maybe didn't get all their ducks in a row to register, and so they're lining up to sign up for those 7.5-week courses within the first few weeks of the semester, so it can still count towards their load. So maybe we could continue that in the fall semester. And that is it. Any questions for the 7.5 weeks?
All right,
Thank you.
You're off the hook. Thank you, Dave. All right, Student Erie Facilities Report, Paul Danu. I saw him.
Okay.
There he is.
Just a few updates. Not a whole lot has changed since probably last Senate meeting or the update I gave at the board or convocation. The cost estimates for dry library and Gleasner envelope replacement, which is similar to what we did with spring with the windows and doors, came back, and the prices are higher than expected, like usual. And so we're probably going to move forward with doing dry library first. That will be bid sometime this year. hopefully very shortly with that project actually happen this summer. That would replace the doors, windows, some of the discolored brick, Bretschger mechanical and power upgrades. We had a construction kickoff meeting with the county, the contractors, and the general contractor. Then we had a follow-up meeting last week, or actually the end of the week before, for some abatement planning. That will probably begin the abatement portion in March. That's in B300, just down the wing here. The air handler unit in Spring, on the top of Spring, on the eastern side, will still scheduled for replacement next spring of 25. That controls the heating and air conditioning for half the building. So, and it's well past its useful life, so we're hoping that we can limp it along. The Kittinger classroom infrastructure, we've been moving along with that. We have some furniture samplings picked out. Hopefully the furniture would be in place for fall of '25 with the actual construction work scheduled over the subsequent few years. The actual construction schedule is going to be a little tricky because it's pretty extensive to the corridors, and putting in some more lounge area for the students. We're going to be doing some lighting upgrades in Lot 11, which is the horseshoe over by Young's. Some of the soffit lighting in the quad, which got damaged when they put stem up, they crushed the conduit. And that's kind of it. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Paul.
Yep.
All right, Academic Standards Committee has been busy, and Amy Yoder.
Hi.
Hi.
Just a couple little notes before I get into the motion. We have 4 subcommittees that have been actively meeting and participating and doing a lot of really good work. We have the 4th one, which is our subcommittee D, which will be taking on the task of looking at procedures and guidelines for NAs or never attends, so that there's clear guidance for faculty in terms of how to submit, what it means, what it looks like, how do you deem attendance, non-attendance, things to that extent. So if you are interested in participating in that subcommittee, please reach out to myself or Colleen Quinn as soon as possible, because we will be meeting very shortly. We have, I want to put forth a motion to approve faculty co-chair of academic standards for Dr. Colleen Cleary Quinn.
Okay. Do we have a second? Tom Webb? Any discussion? I don't know, do you want to talk about why?
Well, it's just me right now, so I can use the help, but it really should be a faculty member that's also co-chairing this committee as well. Colleen brings a wealth of knowledge. We've been working on several policies together over the last couple of years, and she has a very good sense of where we need to go and what is priority to.
And no one else wanted to do it, so
I was trying to be nice. I scared everybody else off.
I attend all the meetings, so to stay in compliance with the bylaws, we decided that that would be a good thing to do moving forward. So with that, to make it official, we're going to send out a vote. You should have also gotten attendance. I didn't announce attendance because it should be, normal by now. So if you did not do the attendance, please do that. Attendance only counts if you're actually physically in this room. And then, of course, for the vote for co-chair or faculty co-chair. It's really slow in here today for whatever reason. So just give it a second. We'll hear everybody's computers ding.
Do you want me to just continue on with academic
Yeah,
integrity
why
to
don't
finish
we do
that up? Okay.
Thank you.
Subcommittee B is academic integrity, and chairing that is Sabrina Kane. They had their first meeting on January 23rd. in which they began the discussions of, do we need a policy change to adjust the times for AI? But more robust conversation took place on guidelines, support, and information to faculty and staff on what to do, what it looks like. So there's going to be a ton of work that comes from this subcommittee. And we're going to hear about later the Faculty Caucus Committee on AI, which will work in conjunction with this subcommittee as well. So more to follow.
Great, thank you. And the vote did go out, so we're just letting that refresh. Sabrina, did you want to add anything about the Academic Integrity Committee? We do have the minutes posted from that subcommittee on the College Senate site.
Not really. I think Amy covered it pretty well. It was a pretty preliminary discussion, but we had a very robust conversation about some of the issues that have come up with academic integrity and trying to come up with rather than a policy, a procedure, and maybe a set of best practices that would work, because there were two main problems that we saw needing to be addressed, and the first was that we wanted to have a more consistent way of dealing with this problem, because it seemed like some punishments could be pretty extreme while other faculty tended to treat it more leniently. And so that was one question. The other question was that we wanted to have a way of tracking repeat offenders. So those are two big things we'll be considering, but there are a number of other things in the discussion. And then, of course, the question of AI, which we want to also work together with a proposed Senate committee if that happens.
Great, thank you very much. All right, so the vote is in. It was unanimous, 35 voted, so I'll be the new I was already serving as faculty chair, but now it's official. So thank you, everybody, for your confidence in my abilities to co-chair that committee. We did send the policy that we passed in December to the board. So the board policy committee is meeting in early March. So we'll talk about that committee, that policy. And then if it passes at that point, it'll go to the March board meeting and go from there. So we don't expect any issues, but we'll keep you up to date as we have updates on the policy progress. Anything else, Amy?
No, I think that's it. I think the one thing that we're trying to emphasize too, the policy work is the minimum part of this committee. It's really the procedure and the education piece of that. So we're very much priding ourselves on the work of making sure that we're communicating all of these policy changes and the guidelines and anything we can do to support the process for both faculty and staff. That's the main priority of this committee.
Right, and just to kind of tag on to the procedures that we're going to be working through for the NA, there's been so many different instances where we've heard things from other faculty that, there's really nothing consistent across the college, whether it's online, seated, or even hybrid, and then all the other modalities. And then, of course, the length of time that we have our classes, 5 weeks, 7.5 weeks, summer classes, regular semester classes, winter intersessions, right? So we really don't have anything that is written down or consistent across the college. So, it's important work, and anyone that wants to participate in that, we really could use your help. I'm looking at department chairs in particular, not that I don't want regular faculty members either, but usually if a faculty member has a problem with an NA, the first step is we have to go to our department chairs. So the department chairs know all the little nuances of different things. So if there's any department chairs that would like to, or faculty members that are passionate about the procedures for NAs, please email myself, Quinn at ECC, or Amy Yoder at ecc.edu to be part of that. It'll be good for all of us and our students, because that's another part that we talked about today, is there's nothing out there for our students to know that they could get dropped at the 3-week mark either. It's not really, it's not that it's a secret, it's just not anywhere consistent. And we need it to be out there for our students to know, so that they have an urgency to sign into their online classes, or that they know the proper attendance for hybrid classes, et cetera. So we just don't really have that anywhere. So I think it'll be a really good group, and I want to try to get that work. It'll be I'm thinking, I just jinxed it. I'm thinking it'll be short. We'll get it done so that we have it in place for the fall semester. So anyway, so that's that. So a little plug for that. I think actually that'll be a fun group. So Title III grant, transformation grant, ASAP. Crystal, I think I saw her. Hi, Crystal.
Okay. So all three grants are in the works. Transformation grant is also known as ASAP. We are in the process of getting the cohort together for fall. And the second cohort has also, the planning of the second cohort has started. We did receive additional funding for 18 students, and the 18 students can be students that are in the program now, and those 18 students will have full tuition covered, and it is directly for student parents. So if anybody meets the eligibility requirements and then additionally is a student parent, will receive full tuition and funding to attend the, to be in the program. Right now, Christina Anesi is the director of the program. We do have an advisor. So she and the advisor are working together to make sure that cohort is up and running by the 15th. And then for Title III grant, planning has started. I know that we're in the process of developing working on the orientation piece and the advisement piece. So that's my update for now.
Great. Anyone have questions for Crystal? All right, you're off the hook. Thank you, Crystal. Last up, we had some meetings in the fall semester, and we had a follow-up meeting, I think, a week ago with evening classes and services. I know Kathy isn't here. Colleen, do you have any updates that you could share with us?
Hi, everybody. We did meet last week and still in process with a lot of really reviewing the services that we want for our students in the evening. We're looking at food service in the evening, and we're going to be meeting with ASC actually tomorrow and continuing that conversation. We're looking at the prayer rooms being open and potentially moved. Some of the campuses where the prayer rooms are not in ideal situations for evening school students. We're looking at the food pantries locations as well to make sure they're accessible also for evening school students. I know Adrian is going to be looking at courses when they're offered and kind of having them together, but a work in progress that is. Printing after hours, we're looking at potentially having kiosks. And so I'm just saying we're looking into, so we are absolutely looking into all these things, and there will be another meeting. We haven't scheduled it yet, but it'll be coming, and I guess more to come is the best way to say that.
Great. Thank you, Colleen. Anyone have any questions for her? All right, beautiful. Thank you. Is there any other old business before we move on to new business? Okay, moving on. All right, new business, graduation 2024, Dan Frontera.
Anybody tell me what is 100 days from today?
Graduation?
Wow, you guys are duds. So commencement, 100 days from today, Buffalo State University, 6 p.m. The email will be coming out probably in the next week-ish for your signups, for volunteering, and for your faculty robing. Additionally, you're going to get an email requesting pictures of your students. We're going to use those for the presentation we do ahead of time, the PowerPoint, so the families as they're sitting there can see their students through the course of the year. We are working to have our artwork displayed again. Many wonderful things going on, great committee working on this. And again, this year, we want you to come down on the floor, engage with your students, be there with them through the whole process, enjoy a cookie. We may turn around this year and give out the diploma covers via air cannon. We're working on that one. So any questions or concerns about commencement? Again, what is 100 days from today? What time? And what time will the sun set?
Oh, I didn't figure out that far in May. I'm going to go with probably 8:37.
That was pretty lame.
You're lame. All right. All right, so graduation 100 days from today. We're going to keep that on the agenda as a standing item, basically to kind of keep it in the forefront of everybody's minds. And again, it's my favorite day of the year. It's after the semester, but it's just really great to see our students graduating. You know, they have their families there. Some of our students that are parents come across the stage with their children, or they meet them at the bottom. It's just a really great experience. And then as you see your own students come across, you have the opportunity to, you know, give them a high five. Sometimes you get a hug, you know, some knuckles. It's just a really great day and one of the most special days of the whole year. So I encourage everyone to please not only attend, but think about participating in some way. You can reach out to Dan via email, or, you know, maybe I might come knocking on your door if we need some more assistance. But it's a great day. I encourage everyone to attend. All right. We have Artificial Intelligence Task Force. This is a proposal coming from the Faculty Caucus of the College Senate. I'm going to pull that up. And is that you, Aaron? All right. Aaron Thomas is going to be the representative from the Faculty Caucus of the Senate that helped develop this. This was developed over several meetings with lots of faculty input and a lot of hard work. And so, Aaron, I'll let you take it away.
There's not a whole heck of a lot that I can say about it right now because Erica and I are still kind of in the process of taking in people's feedback. So it's just what's presented. We still have to go over it. But I mean, there was a really good in-depth discussion, and we got some things to walk away with to tighten up on that before it's really presented.
Great. So with this resolution for creating AI task force, did you want to add anything or?
No, I mean, the resolution's been, the resolution's been available since, I think, the 30th for everybody to review, so of January 30th. So I think we just want to approve a task force to be created so that we can start to, you know, put into effect some thought and planning and, you know, maybe even policies around this idea of AI, which is obviously rapidly evolving.
And I'd be happy to add to that. If anyone has any questions, if they, you know, on any aspect of this, they can email me. Feel free to email me, thomasa@ecc.edu, because I think that some people were looking at this as this is set in stone and nowhere. I mean, we're at the very beginning phases of this for ECC. So just figured I would throw that out there.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Sure.
So to further discuss the resolution, I'm going to need a motion to approve. Aaron, do you want to make that motion? Awesome. Thank you. I need a second. Jackie Bossman. Thank you. All right. So we'll discuss the resolution further. Chris, I think I saw your hand up.
Yeah, just in terms of supporting the idea of the need for a task force, the temptation might be to assume there's only an adversarial relationship between us and AI in terms of being instructors, and there's so many more moving parts than that. So I think that warrants, you know, really in-depth, thoughtful discussion as opposed to it's an arms race between us and how good the AI papers will get, because eventually the AI will also be able to grade the papers, and within that there are so many interesting things to talk about. So. Love the idea.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions regarding the resolution to create an AI task force? Sabrina?
So I actually agree with you, Chris, and I'm really excited about AI, but on the other hand, we do have the one, AI dishonesty piece, and so I'm wondering how in this resolution this works with academic standards. Is it just going to be an informal relationship, or should somebody from academic standards be on this committee?
So, let's see, I'm looking at the representation. Be all academic divisions, 2 faculty reps from each, a librarian, academic dean, appointed representative from Office of the Provost, representative from IT, distance learning, and a student representative. So, and it will be presented to the College Senate, anything they find. So, seeing that academic standards is a committee of the College Senate, I would imagine that they'll be working in tandem. But definitely any faculty that are within membership of academic standards that would also like to be part of the AI task force, because we have, 8 teaching faculty, happy to have anyone interested, for sure. Amy?
I would just recommend a counselor be added as well. I feel like I have to say this every time something comes forward, unfortunately, but, nothing against this particular task force, but we'd like some representation as well, please.
Amy, would you like to make a motion to amend the resolution?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to amend the resolution
All right, and what would that amendment be?
to, in addition to the current makeup, to include a counselor representative.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to add a counselor to the representation of the AI task force. I need a second. Second, Kim, thank you. And is there any questions or comments on this amendment? Are there any objections to this amendment? All right, I'm going to accept this amendment by consent. So this is a PDF, so I cannot edit anything on the fly right now. So I will add it. Oh, Aaron's got it. He's on it. The new motion on the floor is to accept this resolution to create an AI task force with the addition of a counselor as representative on this committee. Other questions or comments about this creation of this task force? All right, we're going to send it out as a vote. Send it as is. All right, so the vote went out. I know I could have probably done this by consent, but anything that's like a